I swear we're not going to have these big breaks between Montreal Canadiens 2019 drafted prospects. After this one, the next two I have a lot to say. So here is our next prospect in our line of Montreal Canadiens drafted players. We just got off of Fred Pitlick and Jacob Laguerriere. Frederik Dichow Nissen is a big Danish goaltender drafted by the Montreal Canadiens 138th overall in the 5th round. This was initially an Arizona Coyotes draft pick that got swapped around a ton. It was LA and it was Nate Thompson and whatever. This was a pick that was shuffled around a ton. But in the end, the Canadiens walk away with a Danish goalie who, I'm gonna be honest, he's got no stats. Habs on the Prize has an article about Frederik Dichow Nissen, and it's very well written for how basic it is, because realistically, you can't get any more complex than that. They did a great job with the material that's presented. So, this is a goaltender who does have a limited statistical profile, but he is a player who has had some pretty good success in different tournaments. In fact, he was the starter for Denmark's U18 team at the World Junior 18's D1A League. Now, that's the division of the World Juniors that is just under the main World Juniors, and this is for the World Junior Under 18s, not for the normal U20s. So under 18 competition, this is in the D1A tournament. Frederik Dichow Nissen was the starter for Denmark. He played 5 games, 2.37 goals against average, and a .922 save percentage. He was actually named the best goaltender in the tournament, and named the top player on his team, which is very nice to see. 6'5", 192 pounds, as a right-handed catching goaltender. Very, very unique. He got drafted by the Sudbury Wolves in the OHL import draft, but it looks like next season he's going to be going over to the Malmo Redhawks Junior 20 team, which is going to be in Sweden. So overall, that's going to have some tracked statistics. It'll be nice to watch him develop in there. But I wanted to turn your attention back over to this Habs on the Prize article, because there are some pretty good quotes here from Jimmy Bojgaard, who is a commentator and anchor person from Danish television. He talks about Frederik Dichow Nissen here. He's a big goalie, and that's the reason he is one of our young goalies that we believe most in. Together with Mads Søgaard, they're the two guys we believe will be best to back up or follow Frederik Andersen. So that's going to be pretty good. In fact, the article talks about it to Dichow alongside of Søgaard. They are the only two goaltenders, aside from Freddie Andersen, who have been drafted into the NHL, who happen to be Danes. So it's very good for the country to see Dichow Nissen and Søgaard get drafted on the same day. Bojgaard also talks about it here. It's huge with two goalies in the same night. We are not a strong goalie country, but now we maybe are getting there because of first Freddie and now these two guys. Nobody in Denmark thought much about him as a draft pick this weekend. It's a long shot right now to see him in the NHL, but I would give credit to the Canadiens organization to see his potential. My feeling is that they saw something that can easily be as good as other goalies drafted near him. So, that's a really nice thing to say. Obviously giving props to the Canadiens, because it actually turns out that Dichow Nissen wasn't really ranked anywhere. I'm looking at his statistical profile. There are no rankings on this guy anywhere before the draft. And we have one more comment at the bottom of this Habs on the Prize article. Bojgaard says that his strongest quality is that he's very strong mentally, and he's a good kid with his feet on the ground. So, that's a quick little profile, I guess, on Frederik Dichow Nissen. He's a big goalie, stops pucks, was a pretty good player at the World Junior A D1 League for the U18s, and overall, he's going to be in Malmo, potentially going to be in the OHL in a few years, but this is for sure a long-term game with this player. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Next up, we're talking about Arsen Kisamutinov. I have a lot to say about him. Social and bye.